Guys, hey, thanks for joining me today. So we are building a very heavy duty hay rack. You're gonna, if you know anything about steel, you're gonna chuckle. Soybeans are sprayed. The pre-emerge product we use has to be done pre-emerge. So soybeans are sprayed and now planted. Corn is planted and getting ready to spike. So we want to use this trailer hay rack to help tend to the sprayer. So we're not rolling the sprayer and tractor back and forth for every refill. And so, yeah, but we got a lot to talk about here in the next couple of weeks because there was some observations out in the field that just smack you in the face. Just like, psh, like when did this start happening? And just really some positive things. We got a high yield test plot to talk about. We got some nutrient management test plot to talk about. But this hay rack, it's a nice Myers 12-ton running gear with the tandem back axle, you know, like your typical chopper box. And that's where it came from. 23 years ago, I was coming down the road, made the 90-degree corner, turned around and looked, and here the chopper box is still coming down the road and boop, disappears over the hill. Like, crap, that's not good. Cut a hole in it landed, this side was against the hill. This side, the hill is steep enough right there that this side I could stand on the ground and reach up to touch the tire. And there was a tree underneath it holding it level. So I took a chainsaw and cut a hole in the wall, shoveled it out, and then the neighbor came over with their big tractor at the time and a long rope, and we were actually able to pull it out of there. This board, the wife and I, so my last couple of years of construction, I was a pile driver and sewer and water rat. And so my last couple of years was at a building and trades company, or I like to call it retirement on the clock, was at a Crybaby Tinner's workshop. And one of the machines came in on this pallet, and so we've had this for a lot of years now, six years or so, 6 years, I think. And it's getting beat up a little bit, but for the price, it was free. They were throwing it away. They didn't know how to throw it away, and they were going to try and figure out how to have a guy cut it up to get it into dumpsters. And I'm like, I'll just bring a trailer and take it home. And they're like, deal. And then they did a project, or we did a project, they did whatever, for the University of Minnesota for some bird display. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in steel and labor to build these. So these are the legs. So these legs stood up, and at the top they had bird houses. That's 1/2-inch plating, and then they had all this writing on there for what all the different birds were that were in the bird house. This is 3/8 thick wall, 3-inch wide, 8-inch tall tubing. That is some heavy tubing. That is some heavy tubing. And so we're gonna weld this together, make 2 runners, and then my drops will be the end pieces to make the box. We'll somehow lift that up off of here and then get this bed off, and the 2x10s under there are failing quite miserably and they make me nervous. So it's time for a little upgrade. So I'm going to get this box welded together, and then we'll figure out what we're doing from there. I miss part of crane rigging and cofferdam building and pile driving. This was very small iron compared to what we're used to do. And I've got a 1-ton hoist, not a 170-ton hoist. And so I do miss some of that stuff, but it's kind of fun with rigging because if you hook like this, I can rotate this tube right up. If I pull, it rotates up. If I take this, loosen it, and slide it here and try to lift, it will not rotate the other way. More than likely, you'll just rotate the strap until it finds a spot where you get enough pressure and it cinches. But with this hook, this type of choke, I can go to, this would be the back of that 40-20 axle where the weight is, and I can do one on each side and choke it, and that axle will stay just like that. Or even on like a 4850 or any of the front wheel drive axles, same thing. They're very heavy on the back. A choke like this lifts it pretty level. So there. I just got a couple things to do. I just need to trim where this is going to land over that axle. I just need to trim this off, and I can come in here and come all the way to, oh no, I could come up here. I just got to trim this chunk off so that can fit nice on the axle. On a safety note, if you're using anything galvanized in the shop, see how it's got that burn spot? That will release a blue-green, very pretty flame. It's very attractive. Do not smell it. Do not let that smoke in. Ventilate your area. That is zinc and heavy metals, and you will get heavy metal fever. And if you've had a fever where your shoulders and joints and your head hurts, them are nothing compared to that kind of heavy metal fever. It is miserable. So make sure you have good ventilation. Also, the tin protects my wood, or not also, but I'm using the tin to protect the wood. So if I got to do a quick cut, I slide the tin under. The tin also protects the concrete. If you like your concrete floor, don't let all your torch slag drop onto the concrete floor. If you're doing a lot of heavy cutting in a isolated area and that slag pop, 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 you will burst the concrete. The concrete will just pop little divots out because the moisture inside the concrete eventually expands and pops it out. So this one's together. I think we'll set this one down. I'll pull these two into position, get them cut off, and then set that one down. Then we'll figure out how to get this bed off of here, and maybe we got to pull the trailer out, get the bed off and stuff, get this frames, rails on, and then get it welded together and go from there. It was really nice. When they made it, they got these heavy irons to help weld these together. So all I did, you can picture when they made this, they cut this angle off of another piece. So this angle and that angle, and they all match. So all I did was pull a tape on the top 40 inches, pull a tape on the bottom 40 inches, connect the dots. I got the same angle as down there. I'll get my tin under here, we'll slit and flip it, cut that other side. My drop becomes my cross piece. And then we'll get that piece spun around, slid together. Well, we got it. Had to kind of use it as a battering ram, but we got it. So I'll weld the top and bottom. That'll hold it in line. If we weld this too hard and weld this really hard, it will suck this side up and it'll actually curve that steel. So we just put a little weld here, a little weld there. Then we can weld this, flip it, and go from there. Well, look at there. Straight as a banana. That's pretty good. We'll flip it over. I'll do the other side and then set him down and then get this wagon out of here. He's on the ground. If you're asking about the sheet of aluminum, this is a 5-foot by 12-foot piece of 3/8 thick aluminum. Brand new. They were going to throw into the scrap because like if you go into the new Viking stadium at the bar, there's like a 3D of a Viking's head and stuff. They did a lot of that kind of effects out of heavy duty aluminum, and they wouldn't solid paint it. So it wouldn't be a solid purple. It'd be more like a translucent purple where you could see the shine of the aluminum through the purple color. And the aluminum had roller marks from manufacturing, and they couldn't have that. And again, a $50 bill for the scrap price, and that would be a beautiful tabletop. I'd like to make a 5x12 table, or a 5x6 table with 2 shelves. Yeah, that would be a nice table. Here we go. We'll take. I'll get another cross piece up here. We'll get him welded into place. I think I'll just take one side and put a really good bead there, and that should keep it from moving forward and backward much at all, but still allow the trailer to twist. So I think him there. Put another one here about. That way when you load these beams, they don't twist out. We don't need him. We'll just put a little weld up here, a little weld here. We don't need it to be on this back piece. I don't see, with this heavy of iron, I don't see there to be deflection right there. There's no way. There's no way on earth you're going to put enough weight down with 3/8 double wall, it's going to kick. No way whatsoever. If we're worried about it, we can always throw a flat strap across the back here. And so, all right, let me burn that one in and get the next one. Well, there's kind of a rough set. We got to go down. So I think I got the actual bed fairly centered onto the running gear. So now I just got to go down here and measure these boards from here. I'll just show you what I mean. If I bump the frame, I'm just under 27. So now I think I need to go down here and check all these. So like this one could come this way a little bit. This one could come this way, you know what I mean? Kind of get them all set. So they're all fairly even on this side. And then go to the other side. Those number 4 and 5 that were a little bit, yep, they're a little bit to this side, so I can knock them back an inch or so on this side. And so he's just under 27. Yep. So we'll take them all and knock a few of these around, and then we got these little screws to come up from underneath. Come up through this board into the beam. Boop, 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 boop. Get them all screwed in. And above the wheels, we got another cross board. Above the wheels, we just nipped them off so the tandem wheel can walk. So we added twice as many of these boards as well. So hopefully this bed is really rotting fast. So if we can just get through this year with this bed, next year this can all go into the burn pile. We'll get some steel tubing, do it upright, some steel tubing, and maybe some sheeting or just some steel tubing, and go from there. You know, if you had a heavy steel tube on every 2 foot on center, then when we set the bales like a pop can, they would still be there. But whatever, that's for next year. Autobots, roll out. Taking for a little test drive down the driveway here, and we'll go bounce on the headland there and see what it looks like. Karen moved the steers today, so we let the pasture get ahead of them, and so on this pasture we can section them off and stay ahead of them for most of the summer, hopefully. And the cow pasture, not so much. Boy, that stays on there pretty nice. We just welded an ear to the main frame and then screwed up to the beam, 3 on each side, and just to hold the bed to the metal frame. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of tractors on the list waiting to come in that aren't in the yard. And then we got 2 behind the shed. But the 9420 for an engine job, Shane Holt's 8640 for an engine job, the 3010 for an engine and transmission job, 4020, just a couple little leaks, and 2 4440s in in the shop right now, and we still got to finish our 4430. And so after first crop hay is done, then I'm back in the shop full time, and we got to get pumping tractors out. Holy cow! Holy cow! All right, guys. Thank you very much.